I interviewed Brother Polite. Are you familiar with him at all?
I'm out of the loop, my brother. I'm a working woman. I'm on the
All good.
road.
All good. All good. Brother Polite is a social activist.
Okay.
Got a very interesting viewpoint. Very much
Yeah. Does he
pro-black.
have podcasts?
No, he's got an Instagram page, and he's like him and Ron Artest are real close. They were on the Breakfast Club together. He's like one of
Oh.
Ron's like mentors, I guess, in a way. Um, and he said something that kind of resonated when we put it out. And he said that you kind of have somewhat of a backlash these days against the black church with certain people.
And rightfully so. But I'll explain this. When people tell me, look what Islam has done for the black man in America, you mean the innovative aspect of Islam. You couldn't mean actual Islam, conventional Islam. No, we're suffering from what's called an acculturation process. And this is when you conform to religious ideologies and the phenomena thereof in light of the fact that you're living in your diaspora or have been taken out of your indigenous environment and forced to adopt the lifestyles that you are immediately subject to.
Well, I have a very socially active man in my life as well. And what it is the way it's been explained to me is when we were stolen and brought over here, we were indoctrinated with the white man's impression of what Christianity is. We had to adopt that because we were here. We had religion before we left Africa. We had a language. We don't have no language anymore. The closest thing we got is Ebonics, fascism, manizo, and, some pig Latin and stuff like that. We don't even have a language. The Indians still have their language. They can talk amongst themselves. We don't have one. And same with our religious aspect. They give you the white Jesus with the blonde hair to worship to on the cross when it clearly says he had dark skin and hair like wool in the Bible, which I'm not sure who allegedly wrote that. I'm questioning everything now. And the Christianity that black people have adopted was given to us. It was pushed on us. It's not what we had from the beginning. Christmas as opposed to Kwanzaa and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to have to ride with my brother on a lot of that, because we just don't have anything of our own. We don't have anything of our own. We have to go out and physically seek to buy black this, buy black that, to get our nutrition together, to get our waters together. Nobody tells you that alkaline water ain't alkaline water after 3 days. And everybody's like, alkaline, alkaline, alkaline. If you don't have the thing on your sink, I had jugs of alkaline water at home in my big thing. And then I find out a couple weeks ago that after 3 or 4 days, the pH and all that goes to bullshit. It's just water. But they're not going to tell you that. We buy into so much that's just been told us. We don't research and we don't look and find out for ourselves and try to do our own thing. We just been broke down from the inside out.
Well, talking about the whole religion thing, if you look at historically, the black preacher was the first black upper class because the slave masters saw the black preacher as someone that can control the rest of the black people, so they gave them special privileges. I guess they were still slaves during that time, so it's not like they were making money or anything, but they got certain things that other black people couldn't get during that time. So the preacher sort of became an aristocracy originally. And if you look at what's happening these days, do you feel that the black church is a positive or a negative thing to the black community?
Well, that's a big old can of worms you asked me to open up right there. I'm not a fan of the mega churches because I just don't like to go anywhere where they don't know my name. If I like to go to a bar where people know my name and don't know I've been there, why would I want to go to a church where nobody even knows I'm there? You know, you're supposed to have a personal relationship with Jesus and your pastor. If you're sick, he's supposed to maybe come to the house, and you know, you usually could get them to bless your house when you move in the house. Come, she could pray at you. But you know, all these appointments and things and people that they got to go through to get to the pastor. I know people who've been in dire need this year who were faithful members of a certain church, and they fell on hard time, and the church didn't do shit, not a damn thing. They ended up being homeless, having to live with people, and in shelters. And this is a church where they went to for years and paid tithes to for years. So, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. You know, personally me, I like gospel music. I like being around my people. I like, you know, reading my scriptures and stuff like that. I like that. But then I also know that the preachers are only human as well. And I know preachers I've had sex with. I know preachers that have had sex with other people. I know preachers that have cheated. They're only human. So you can't look for what you're looking for in man. We just have to know that there's a spirit out there that guides you, that teaches you what good common sense is for most of it and what it's not, that rewards you if you're kind and if you work hard, and will hopefully punish you in the afterlife if you do bad things to people here. That's the most I can grip on, because I've done the whole organized church thing. I've been in the choir. I was a faithful member. I tithed. I got burnt every fucking time. Burnt every time. So I go when I want to, and other than that, I just have to reach in myself and connect with the higher power that's in myself.
Well, this next part kind of ties into what we were talking about, because you talked about the whole Illuminati thing. And when I interviewed Brother Polite, one of the things that we talked about, this was something he had mentioned before that we kind of expanded on, was that
it's transgenerational thought patterns. And so we've practiced thinking like this for so long. It's been dumped into our DNAs and passed on to us from generation to generation. This is true. It's called epigenetics, just so people have a point of reference, that if I am susceptible to similar distress, the trauma inherit from my ancestors who inherited from their ancestors, I will also be vulnerable to the same. So we can inherit trauma. This is through epigenetics, it's true. You set the stage for similar moods, anxieties, foods, and maybe even music. And those algorithms will undoubtedly precipitate similar thoughts and reactions. That's called epigenetics. And so being in slavery for so many years, the only thing a slave can conceive of getting any type of wealth from would be by way of their slave master. They got their food, they got their clothing, and they got their shelter.
What's your take on it?
Well, I just know that, I feel that as long as you can look at industries like television, film, and music, and you don't see anybody in the upper levels that represent any of the artists that are making all this money for them, you have to think that way. It is the white man that's writing the check. It is, until we get more blacks and Latinos and Persians and Asians in executive positions. Then what else is there? You know, they have to change policies. Screen Actors Guild, AFTRA, all this stuff. Old white men, some old white women, but they're white and they old. The Oscars so white, all that. The people are winning Oscars for movies that nobody you or I even know ever even seen. How does that happen? And then you get these people that get the super money. There's only 12 of them, you know, and they get the super everything. But then why is it that you can get this money in front of everybody, but all you're giving back is so on the hush hush? You know, if you're a billionaire, all we see is you making this money. We don't see you building any schools. Like the Kardashians, they have some charitable shit, I guess, that they do. Well, we don't know what the fuck it is, you know? And how can a whole clan of bitches, everybody, become hugely successful unless maybe Kris done made some little side deal with the devil? You know, it's just very spooky thing to think about. I don't know who runs what, but I know who ain't running nothing, and we ain't running nothing.
Well, when you look at music, though, you see a lot of black executives in music. Like L.A. Reid, very powerful person in music.
He's no Clive Davis.
He's no Clive Davis. I'll give you that. Berry Gordy.
Berry Gordy is amazing.
Berry Gordy is a Clive Davis. I would actually put him above a Clive Davis.
I'm gonna have to give Barry that because and he's not dead and he's not near death, you know, and he's got a whole Motown legacy, gone into the play now and everything like that. There are a few exceptions, of course, but it's not by any stretch of the imagination equal or even partly equal. Is that to say that we don't have the same quality of brain of people out here that can do the same thing that the mega rich white guys have done? No. They're Jay-Z, fucking Marcy Projects used to sell dope. He's a self-made man. But at some point, somewhere, what we're thinking, the regular layperson on the street, is that at some point, somewhere, when you get up here, you get into another league where shit changes. I've seen black artists, regular street hood motherfuckers, girls and guys, and then when they have a concert, their black friends, the black can't even get to them for the sea of white people that come into your orb, the executives and your attorneys and your this and that. You're sitting at a table, one black artist, sea of white people, black folks trying to get over there to say hi. I don't know what that is. I don't know if there is an Illuminati. They don't want to fuck with me. They're not gonna come get me. I know I'm not Illuminati worthy. But there's something going on that we're never gonna know about unless you get into that world. Tom Cruise and this whole Scientology weird shit that's going on. What's the big motherfucking secrets? Why everything gotta be goddamn secret? How come if the shit is on the up and up, why don't you open up the doors, let everybody come in and see if it's... But it ain't like that. Why is everything such secret? Because Illuminati. And who is the Illuminati choir? You ever hear that fucking spooky ass Illuminati music? You'll be watching that shit till your eyes bleed. 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, they got the spooky. Who's making that shit? What the Illuminati record label?